Hello and welcome to Casting Roles, a persistent D&D campaign played by a bunch of theater nerds. Thank you for joining us. If you're liking the show, please don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. And you can find us on social media. We're on Twitter at Casting Roles and on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Casting Roles ILM. Our videos are uploaded every Friday on YouTube. But let's go ahead and start the show. All right, so Ticket Takers, after traversing the Profane Citadel, conquering multiple of the runes, dealing with past evils in the faces of Lady Haverly and Yusef Arafan, you faced off against the dragon destined in his own mind to become a god, Ahriman, who, while concentrating on a spell and burning his top level spell slots before the fight began for this, you charged in and faced off with him and eventually brought him to his knees. At the very tail end of the fight, Abel activating a device that he had created a few nights before. And then you exited from the island, made your way to the Something Ticket This Way Comes with Mother and Eris in tow and set off for Nuevia. So Ticket Takers, as the night, well, it was a very long day. Let's see. I'm trying to keep track of hours. That was a very, okay. So you are approaching.
It's twilight as we're getting out of
yeah, well, so you guys slept, but you slept not at the normal time. So when you woke up, it was probably, yeah, so you're late after,
Let
late
us
evening.
sail off into the sunset, Josh.
Sure, there you go. As the island descends slowly to the ocean below, and the Something Ticket This Way Comes exits off towards the southeast. Ticket Takers, welcome aboard the Something Ticket This Way Comes. What would you like to do?
Reunite with the rats.
Yeah, I would suggest sending signals to the two Vipers that they don't need to escort us anymore. Because they're faster, I'm sure.
They are.
So, unless y'all think we need...
No,
we should be fine to take care of ourselves.
If something else comes up, I think.
The Rock is still around.
Why would you tell the
Why would you remind me that the Rock is still around?
Because the Rock, I know we can beat.
Yeah,
I was like,
where you are now, probably.
Are we gonna fight Dwayne the Rock Johnson? I was like, the what? And I was like, oh no.
I don't want to be stuck between a rock and a hard place.
In the Pleasure Palace.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Okay, so our plan is to we're going to the Blight next. Or drop off at the island. What was the last time we left?
Wasn't Nuevia in between the Blight and us?
Were we gonna like restock the ship in Nuevia real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're okay. So it's the ship keeps going. Blip to get Krakoa back to the island. Because we have our tree that we can do that thing, and then come back. Nuevia, go from there.
This is so superior to teleportation circles. I just need like a bag of
don't
coconut.
say that shit. Listen, don't you dare disregard my
plant growth.
spell.
Yes,
but I took the spell for our benefit, and you're just...
I'm doing the same thing with a lovely bunch of coconuts.
on the other hand, Ace,
the teleportation circle as
if
well.
we need to get to Anavir in a rush...
And we had teleportation circle a lot earlier, mind you.
Yeah,
and we didn't plant a tree everywhere, did we?
Argument.
This is a tree everywhere, did we? How many trees have you been planting, sir?
That said, this is I can only do this once a day. So like,
how many times can I do teleportation circle? Let me tell you, more than once.
boys, you're both beautiful.
Twice.
Incredibly beautiful, okay? I have level 20 charisma. All right, I'm fine.
What does that mean?
Jury's just beautiful, has no riz. All right, anyway, so we're Yeah, so that's the plan. Go to the island and then come back to the ship as it's still going on course.
It proceeds to its destination in Nuevia.
All right, so burn 1 spell slot to.
Yeah, we should also maybe like whoever can get back to Abel's dad and be like, "Hey, what did you mean by that?" To like see how much of an emergency that is. You know what I mean? Like if we have to like skip Nuevia or if we need to like.
Well, I have teleportation circles, so we could from the island go to Nuevia. And then come back to the island and go through the tree. He's not at
Nuevia. He's at the Blight, right?
No, so
he's in Nuevia.
He's in still Nuevia,
okay.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he had to send all the extra soldiers to the Blight.
Right.
But someone should blip Orisha or one of the Mistweavers or whoever anyway to let them know that Ahriman is off the board.
Oh, yeah.
We can just send them that.
Well, I can call Amalia and say that.
Yes, perfect.
I have a sending stone to do that.
Cool.
And maybe Amalia can give us some insight.
All right,
maybe
so I
have some insight about what's going on at the Blight.
I have checked off my spell slot for cast transport via planes.
Did you have it for today, or did you have to rest before that happened?
I had to rest.
Okay, so you guys haven't rested yet. This is still the night. This is still the day of the fight with Ahriman. So yeah.
Yes.
Cool. I would like to drag Eris somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She's just been kind of like off to the side. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like to drag her like somewhere like relatively like private from like not where people are at the moment.
The spice closet.
Do you want the lamp, Mar?
No.
Okay, well there's a turtle in there anyway.
Thanks.
Okay, just to let you know.
What were you gonna do with it?
You can go into the lamp.
Okay.
You can go into it. There's a turtle there. Yeah, you're right. It's not really private. I take it back.
This is one of the most jury things Ace has ever done.
Oh, you need to secretly talk to your sister. Here, go in this lamp.
It's very private.
Don't teach anything in there.
That's true.
Okay, so you pull Eris off to the side, and is this way you're going to kill me or something now? Is this?
It's just a shitload of lettuce.
I'm tempted to now. Well, why? Okay. God forbid we have a conversation or anything.
Sorry. Thank you for getting me out of that mess.
You're welcome. It was not so hard.
No.
So, what are you going to do now?
Well, I don't know. Do you see me as like the heroic type that goes off into the storm, or do I just disappear into the darkness?
I mean, your history answers that question, I think, for me. But I don't know. You can do what you want. If you want to go reunite with Amalia, who I'm sure would be very happy to see you, then get your ass to the Blight like the rest of us. If not, I can drop you in Nuevia and you can figure it out.
I don't know after what we went through if she would want to see me again.
It's blatantly not true. Just 100% not true.
Well, while we were captured, there was never an opportunity for us to escape, and I fought as hard as I could, but she was always able to resist his pull, but there was something in me that didn't allow that to happen.
Yeah, because you're prone to edginess and darkness, whatever. And you got manipulated by a shitty guy, and at the end you turned against him, and you helped kill him. So Get over yourself.
Okay, Marlo. Yes, I would love to see Amalia again.
She wants to see you, I promise.
Well, then I will travel with you all to the Blight. At the very least, somebody who knows a little bit about the Shadow being there might be helpful.
Yeah, maybe stop doing that now, though, is the thing. Maybe chill on that one. Because if you start yanking out monsters on my ship, I will kick you off.
I won't pull anything while I'm aboard the ship.
Thank you. One more thing. You still got those godstones?
Well, yes.
Cool. Can I have those?
She kind of reaches into her bag. She says, well, I mean, yes, he found that they wouldn't have been useful in his efforts. He was just trying to gather whatever power that he could. She hands them off to you. I can't remember which two that she had. I think it was...
I have no idea.
I think it was Metasansi's and Mystariel's. So one's like a purplish color and the other one is a garnet yellowish.
Cool. So I have 4 now. 2 of my swords.
2 and then 2. Yeah. Now I think Mystariel's is the one that would go in Abel's
Everspark.
If I have to, yes. Okay. And then I would like to just kind of like take her hand and just gonna go, thank you.
For what?
I don't know. Figure it out, idiot.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I leave.
She's just like, what? You dragged me into this place, and now what? Okay. She does not follow. She just hangs out where you were for a moment, and then later on, she reappears back up on the deck.
Yeah, I would like to just go get the... Oh, I would like to gently toss the stone to Abel to test his reflexes.
Make a dexterity check, Abel.
oh God.
Over the side of the ship.
Not towards the side of the ship, obviously.
Besides, you got flying
boots. I don't
boots.
trust him that much.
What is this, like just a sleight of hand or just straight up
Just
dex?
a dexterity check.
Straight up dex. Ooh, yeah. 12.
Yeah, that's enough for you to catch it. Yeah,
Slightly above average.
A yellowish stone is in your palm, something that would fit into the Everspark.
A gift? What exactly is this, Marlon?
Stone to God. Put it in your spark thing.
Well, it's be a nice little boost of power. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Do you put it in the...
Thank Eris.
So when you attach
be
this...
sure to make time to do so.
Yeah. When you attach it to the stone, the device will reach prestigious state because it requires the gem to do so. So I'll adjust that in your D&D Beyond, but that increases your spell attack and damage bonus to +3. Spell save DC goes up by another +1, and you gain access to the construct of Mystariel. But it takes 1 hour to build.
What?
People just went to plaid.
Yeah. And it can either take the form of like a hulking mass of HP that maybe does a little damage, a flying form that can have a medium-sized creature fly on its back with it, and it can also attack, or a steed form where you can make it take the shape of a creature that you could ride that would then go along the ground.
Okay. You're going to have to write all that out.
Yeah, I have to write it all out.
So, like, the like little kid in me who read a lot of magical horse books just reached the book out for a second.
By the way, Jace, how many siblings do you have?
I have one. It's a younger brother.
Okay, because that was perfect. My brother's 16 months older than me, and
Yep.
that was yeah. It's like
Yeah. Nope. No, I know what it's like.
All right. Are you going to call Amalia this evening, or are you?
I will call Amalia.
Okay.
Hey. Found Aries. She's fine. Ahriman's not. He's dead.
He's dead.
How's the blight? Any emergencies? Hope you're well.
There's a moment, and the pause comes back. Is she? I can't ask questions. Good. Blight is still quiet, but everyone is very tense about some buildup of energy. A fleet of ships appeared off the coast. Not sure what banner they're flying under. I'll keep you posted in the morning if anything changes. Stay safe. See you soon.
I informed the group,
Right.
just very briefly, that there's no immediate catastrophe at the blight.
Immediate catastrophe.
Well, good to know.
Would the ships be the tide waters? Do we know where their allegiance currently lie?
I mean, they probably, if they're still flying under Alyria High Wand, who might just have been promoted to the king of not Vox Populi,
A priori?
A priori. I don't really know how that works. Maybe, but regardless, I mean, she's got the devils with her, so that's cool. Wait a minute, I flipped through Armand's journal. I forgot that I had that. I want to see if there's any, like, if he said anything about that. But I guess I'll just later tonight, I'll go for it.
You will need to roll an intelligence check because he has written in a cipher.
Oh, that bitch.
Yeah.
Can I
And
get
the
able
cipher
help?
changes throughout the
What?
course of the journal. And so it's kind of like each section of the journal, he's shifting to a new cipher.
The most paranoid man in history.
Yes, the most paranoid man in
It's
history.
true. He's like,
Can I
but
get
not
Abel?
paranoid enough.
That's true.
Can I
Yeah.
get Abel's help?
Absolutely. If Abel would like to help
Okay.
you. Yeah.
Most definitely.
Can I get Abel to do it and I help him because he's smarter than me?
Yes. Abel, make roll an intelligence check with advantage.
Thank you,
Straight
Abel.
intelligence or
Just straight intelligence, because you are
straight
trying to
intelligence?
decipher his cipher.
App with advantage. Man, an 18. Can I just throw in a +6 just to be
Sure.
so 24?
All right. And so you said you were going to do that kind of later on this evening. So if anybody else wants to take
when
anything,
there's, like, downtime. Yeah.
anything else for anybody as you're beginning your journey back to Nuevia before this evening kind of comes to a close?
I will during this time. Abel's just sort of like doting on Saurus, like, here, come sit down. Do you need anything? I can cast the mansion spell. You can come in and have a nice place to relax, soak yourself.
You have a mansion?
Mhm.
I'm
Which is
kidding. I'm kidding.
After what you have been through, you need to take some time to rest, I believe. Just whatever you need, I'll make sure you are taken care of.
I don't think it's rest. I've been limited in what I can do, so just enjoying the open air and being able to move about, do some of my exercises again. That will be nice.
It's understandable. If you need to talk also, I am here.
I appreciate that. And I appreciate all of you coming to help me.
Of course. But don't ever do that shit again. If you ever give yourself up to an evil fucking wizard again without a fight, I'm gonna be so fucking mad.
I agree with Judy. It's not
Yeah,
It
what
not
was
Jury,
the
cool.
best-
It's not cool.
what Jury said.
I understand your Source. I understand your logic. I do. But to me, you're more important than the world. So I know why you did what you did, but I couldn't forgive myself if we didn't rescue you. The way, if things had worked out differently, it would have been really bad for me too.
I understand.
I know that sounds selfish, but that's how I feel. So
I don't understand your logic, but I do agree with Judy. And
My logic was giving us the best chance to win.
yeah.
So,
think we are
and
best
it
when we
worked
stick
out
together.
because the king is dead.
Yes.
He is dead.
Long
And
live-
perhaps you learned
Short
some
live the king.
important information that we could use in our fight against the Veil. So
I'll always
we're just
trust.
happy to have you
Yeah.
back.
Yep. I trust you in your decisions, but don't ever give me that kind of heart attack again, or swear to God.
Josh, one metagame thing.
Yeah.
How long has it been since Soros last saw Rylus?
The moon? Are you
What?
asking about the moon, Rylus?
No.
Volmir?
Oh,
Volmir
Volmir
Rylus.
Rylus. So Rylel is the moon.
Oh,
Volmir Rylus, let's see. The last time you would have seen him would have been probably 3 days ago. So before the
Oh.
ticket takers arrived on the island.
Would I have overheard of or have any inkling of where he may have gone?
Make a just make a perception
Nice.
check for me, please.
Perception. Not a great roll, but not an awful one. 19.
Okay, 19. So you were kind of trapped in the tower. And so any conversation that they would have had to take place while Ahriman was either preparing or in the process of channeling. And you overheard one conversation, but it was like in pieces because they're on the floor above you and you're just kind of hearing through. And not to like reenact their conversation, but you kind of generally heard elements of conversations about the Empyreans. You heard conversations about the Blight. And so from that source may be able to deduce that Volmir may have been reaching out to the Empyreans or was going on some kind of excursion to see what was happening at the Blight, because you know that Ahriman's ultimate goal was to wash away the veil, and so that being the point of interest. Yeah.
So I'll relay that to the group because what's her name? Dinwala. While he knows she's a major player, she was never major on his. I mean, we dealt with her in the underwater city and stuff like that, but to me, to Soros, she wasn't as high up. So with with Volmir disappearing a couple of days before the big ceremony, obviously he has gone off to prepare something important for after the ceremony concludes. So, what that is, and Denwala probably is either helping him or has realized that they were on the losing side and bolted. But either way, and so I passed that on to the group.
Sure.
Yeah. We'll have to figure it out.
We have no idea where exactly he would have been traveling to, or what direction. Or towards the Blight, you said towards the Blight?
That he was either reaching out to the Empyreans or going to the Blight, which, if there's a buildup of powers there, may or may not have something to do with it.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, might be an advantage to us at the Blight, so we're technically all going to be on the same side, even if we hate his ass.
Raise his hand.
Yeah.
I mean, the Tide Waters, the devils aren't on our side.
No, not the Tide Waters. I meant Volmir is who I was talking about.
Right, but if he's still working with them, then I don't know. I mean,
Well, I don't know if he'd be fully loyal to just his dad's cause or if he would go with the Tidewaters. It's up in the air, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's probably as much anti-Veil as the rest of us, but, they had wild methods of going about that, so...
It just seems there are still so much information that we are guessing at, so much that we don't know.
Smacks the book down. That's why we do this table.
Yes, it's true. Mark, can I ask you one thing?
Yeah.
From what we know, no one else knows the recipe for how to godhood from Saurus. I mean, I feel like Ahriman's one of the few people who could have figured it out, even with your error in it.
Yes.
Yeah, the spell.
I mean, no, not unless they go to the Library of Azalor, which is now, reopened. So,
but
I don't know.
We smuggled the book out, didn't we?
Yeah, the library only contained the recipe for creating a divine rebus. It did not create the Ascension to Godhood spell is a Ahriman creation using the divine rebus as the battery.
Okay.
So whether or not Ahriman wrote that down anywhere, it would probably be in his journal if he did.
Okay, cool. So definitely be on board.
I don't know if he would share that with anyone or not. Maybe his son, maybe not. I don't know. He seemed super paranoid. So I think my gut instinct is to say he probably didn't.
Good. Well, that'll work in our favor at least.
Yeah. So, but I don't know.
All right. Well, I guess it's time to get moving then. Seems like everything.
Source will pull Mara aside.
Yes.
And just give her a big hug and say, "You are my best friend."
I grab you so hard and just start crying into your shoulder, and just be like, I tried so hard to keep it together in front of everyone else because they were all freaking out so bad. And I knew that if it was me instead of you, you would be the one keeping it together for everyone. And I'm just so happy you're back.
I never, ever doubted that you would be there at the end.
Well, we're not us without you. So, thank you.
I'm glad not to be a battery. I will say that.
I think you're far more useful up on your feet and mobile than you are just kind of laying around.
And now with wings. Oh, it was not listening. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Ava on the side listening in.
Yes, I'm going to have to get used to that. They're so much slower.
Sorry, we saw you guys hugging, and now we all wanted to hug.
They also,
slowly
So
everyone
many
just starts
emotions.
having it.
yeah, they'll also fade away when you go to a long rest, and this, but you'll be able to activate them using your ASMR heritage.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
So cool.
Yeah. There's one of those. Oh, Source is gonna right before he goes to sleep, take the sending stone to Jane and just send her a message.
Oh,
It
man.
turned out well, and I'm all right. Having a family like the Ticket Takers is beneficial.
A message.
We'll see you soon, hopefully.
As late as it is, the message still comes back fairly quickly. If I was going to trust anyone with my life, it would be your friends. So good to hear from you, and I hope to see you soon. I'm glad you're safe.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. There's the blight and, death and destruction and all. But,
Sure.
I get the sentiment. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, let's not ruin the moment, Rob. It's too late.
No.
All right. Anybody else doing anything this evening before you all take a rest?
Kaimana's going to spend a little time with the rats.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alembic and Beaker are aboard and have had a reconnection with Source, I'm sure. Through all
And
this.
Jasmine.
And they've been introducing to Jasmine. And while you guys have been having your all conversations, Jasmine's been kind of talking to them and getting to know them. And so, Kaimana, you kind of go over there, and the Kakoa is over there, and he's like, if you just had some clams, you could just fry them up right now, and we could have a delicious dinner while we're eating.
The Kakoa still has 49 clams left. I tracked them.
49 clams. But that's ammo. Would he use his ammo for food?
Well,
And celebrate. He's retired now. He's retired now.
All right. So so you kind of go over and
That was his 401k.
yeah, there you go.
401c.
401c. So Jasmine and Alembic and Beaker over there come on out and you approach them. Yeah.
I just want you all to know that you did a very good job.
Well, I think we just did exactly what you said. And the spell that you cast was really great because they couldn't even see us. And we just kept the ship safe.
I know it to you, sometimes it might not feel like much, but it's really important what you did.
Well, that means a lot, Kaimana. We just want to make sure that we are useful for you all.
It's more than that. You're part of the team and you're part of the family.
Well, yeah, you're our dad. And she says that she's like our mom. And Jasmine's like, I just said that my name was Mother. I didn't say, I don't know why she has an accent. She doesn't have an accent. I just said that my name is Mother. I didn't say that I was their mother. It's possible. Maybe, Kaimana, can you explain this at all?
You kind of painted yourself into a corner there. I don't know there's a way to tell them anything else. Let's just roll with it for now.
Okay. Well, I mean, I am Mother, so I will happily adopt you all.
We're so glad to have you.
Well, that's good. I like the ship. I think if you all don't mind, I'd like to join with Alembic and Beaker here in taking care of the ship and making sure everything is safe for you all.
Oh, sure, absolutely. We'll find some good quarters for you.
It's good.
Is there like an open room still, like the?
Yeah, you guys have I think 12 cots in the berth, so you probably have enough space. Yeah, I mean, you definitely have enough space. Yeah,
Like Magnificent Mansion is always an option. I don't.
Not on the boat.
yeah.
Well, it's just a portal that takes you to the little
yeah.
Yep.
wavelength. So I don't know if there's a. I know there's a limit on how many people can.
It's a lot.
Okay. If anyone wants to be pampered while we travel,
Yes. And we deserve it.
really, I think I agree with you completely.
Thank you.
Okay. So do you set up the mansion?
Yeah, I'll set it up. I don't know, somewhere convenient where anyone who wants to hop in and out, sort may enjoy the fresh air, but if you want to come inside and get a nice hearty meal, soak in the sauna for a while, it'll be open for you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And Josh, I realized I was looking at the Krakoa sheet. Source's perception was actually a 25.
Okay, that doesn't change anything.
I just think so.
Yeah, just from the distance in space, you'd already passed the DC I'd said, so you're good. All right. So if you all are bedding down for the evening, you all may go into the mansion. You may go to the cots in the berth and do that. Marlo and Abel, you spend some time with Ahriman's journal. And it is slow going, deciphering his cipher. But you manage to kind of work your way through the first quarter or so of the journal. And a lot of this seems to be from the early days of when he was piecing together a priori. There's conversations about his relationship with Iris's father, and that Ahriman was not certain about trusting the people with a more of a say in the government, that he knew too well how quickly mortals could turn against their own best interests, and that they needed a more steady hand. But being the invisible hand guiding things from the background, a priori could serve as an organization that would kind of lead in the positive direction. Ultimately, there's so much in the scrawl here of somebody who's experienced a great trauma and keeps coming back to it, but never really deals with it, about his time in the Vale. And there's a lot of conversation in the first quarter here about how he's very concerned about how people aren't taking the Vale seriously, that Lightbringers are not a guarantee of security, that all it takes is the death of one to shatter a tower, like that the system is not strongly built, but people are not taking it as seriously as he would like. And so part of the reason he seems to have formed a priori is to find like-minded individuals who would guide Alyria towards a path of security versus peace. And he doesn't seem to have, even in the group of a priori that he put together, have found that. Many of them were like Iris's father, more towards boosting people, or like the Danes, boosting themselves. And Ahriman was definitely frustrated with the bedfellows that he had found himself aligned with.
Although the scary thing is, I somewhat agree. The system of the towers is not a sound system. It's not well protected, and our human race is really balancing on the head of a needle. Or should I say a series of needles with these towers.
I mean, yeah, I think that's why someone like him could amass such a big army, you know?
It's true. There is a hint of truth to what he is saying.
Yeah. I mean, the Vale is what it is right now because the towers are not infallible. So, but also, I think his solution was, and I'm the best, so put me in charge and I'll fix everything. I think that maybe maybe could have had a better solution. I think we can agree.
Yes, that was obviously the musings of a madman who came up with this idea.
Sure.
I guess that is an issue for another day. Right now, the veil itself needs to be attended to.
Yeah. I don't know. I think a lot of bad people can have it right 95% of the way. And then it's just that last step that's, the immoral one. But I don't know. It's up to other people to decide that.
Perhaps so. Well, let's see what we can glean as far as his associates and their role they would play. Does he have any plans if he were to be defeated? What would his backup plan be?
Is there any hint in this of
so the first quarter
like that?
The first quarter of the journal seems to be about more of the foundations of the ideologies that birthed a priori. You guys probably have time to attempt the second cipher if you want to try the second quarter of the journal this evening. The cipher is more complex with each step, so this one has a slightly higher DC. You can try again, Abel.
Shall we read on?
Intelligence with advantage with Mars' help.
Book of Thay, Book of Thay.
Book of Thay, yeah.
Natural 20 for 26.
Yeah. So even though it is a different cipher, you kind of get, because you're familiar with his writing style, it actually seems easier in the second bout to decipher what he's trying to write here. And there's an odd time skip in what he's journaling here. It seems that it picks up a few years after he had written at the beginning, and it seems that he had gone into hiding for the express purposes of doing research. It discusses time spent after the murder of Iris's father, where he had absconded from Alyria and went to Azalor, uncovered the fact that they were trapped in a dream state, kind of infiltrated that, and began to do research in the library for years. And he's writing here after coming out of that research. And here, the madness of fear is much more prevalent. Being closer to the veil in Azalor, coming out and seeing the veil close by, seeing the effects of veil incursions in the area. He's much more keyed into that aspect of things. He discusses making a partnership with a pirate in the Vanishing Isles. But he does also, even when he's talking about Valeria Highwind, he seems uncertain about how true to the cause she may be, but he also appreciates the value of that partnership, but he is keeping a close eye on her in this journal. He never discovers or uncovers any truth about who she may or may not be, but he didn't trust her implicitly. The one thing that you do get is he seemed to have, towards the end of this section, gone into kind of recursive memory, and his writing becomes really frantic and scrabbled and all over the place. And as you guys are kind of deciphering it here, he even loses the cipher a little bit, and some of the words are weirdly written or misplaced. But he does specifically mention a time in darkness. He mentions being in the city of Caliga in Vidia, he muses for a while about some object that you don't recognize the name of, called the Tenebrous Core. Tenebris, Tenebris, Tenebrous Core. And the very end of this section of the journal seems to devolve into him just writing about how the shadow seeps from there, but the power comes from somewhere else. The shadow seeps from there, but the power comes from somewhere else. And it seems like he's remembering something from his time in the Vale. That there's some connection with the city of Calaga, Nvidia, the Tenebrous Core, and the Vale in some way.
Can I roll like some kind of like history or something to see if I have any reference of what the Tenebrous Core or what he's referencing is?
I will say that normal, like a roll would be asked for if there was a chance.
There's no chance.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
The only thing I might say, well, no, because the only person that you know who's traveled there is Persephone Mistweaver, and her writings were all before Calaga Nvidia was built. And right. The only other thing you had was the report from that group that had gone to try to destroy Calaga Nvidia and had failed. And there was no reference in there to something called the Tenebrous Core.
Okay.
There is hope, perhaps, that he expands on this in the latter half of his journal. Yeah.
Says more. Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Okay, so real quick, it's found in the Vale capital city.
Yeah.
And spell it again. What's the name of the
Tenebrous Core is Teneb.
No, the city.
Calaga Nvidia. So it's Caliga, and then Invidia. The part that catches you, Marlo, is the power comes. The Vale comes from there, but the power comes from somewhere else. It's that you know enough about the way that the Vale works that the powering of the Vale is coming from Caiaphas, but the Tenebrous Core must be the thing that is allowing it to expand by focusing that power.
Wow.
Okay.
This is obviously where he is.
Which might imply, and you don't have to answer because I'm just kind of spitballing, but that might imply that the Tenebrous Core was not made or created by Caiaphas.
Maybe not.
Which is alarming.
All right. It's late. Okay. If you guys wanted to dive into the third quarter, it would mark you into exhaustion for the next day.
Say it's worth the risk. We are going to.
I say it's worth it.
Okay.
Yeah,
so you guys can do the last two halves. You'll take a point of exhaustion for doing the last two halves. Make an intelligence check with advantage, Abel, on the third quarter.
Yes. Hold on, let me find it. This is quite concerning. This Tenebrous Core. He writes about and I'd love to learn more about it. And 18, but I can put more into that if I need to.
You might want to burn a thing.
Okay, yeah, I'll turn it to a 24.
Okay.
Hint.
Yeah, the cipher gets more complex each time. All right, so this round, there's no long-term time skip in the journal here, but as he comes back to writing into a new cipher here, he seems to have regained some of his composure around the traumas that he's experienced. And here he's doing a lot of writing about the work of deification. He seems to be kind of creating lists of powerful sources of magic that exist within the realms. He specifically mentions the Feywild. He says the font of magic comes from the Feywild, and he's reached out to the Queen of Air and Darkness as a potential ally in providing the potential resources, and has convinced her that the world would not be bad if a god of magic existed. And so there's elements of that there. There is a discussion about the power of Zephrysite as a functioning of magic. He does not seem convinced that it would be enough to use Zephrysite entirely to replace the power, but as a focus, that he ultimately believes that the combination of Zephrysite with a divine rebus may ultimately achieve the goals that he needs. He specifically looks at the divine blood of those that were created at the beginnings of time. He thinks that the bloods of Empyreans or the bloods of the Anakim, who are the ancient immortal dragon or giants, could potentially be used as a power source. He also quickly explores the potential of using the Godstones, but ultimately, because they were only powerful enough to power weapons, he didn't think that they would be powerful enough to carry out if he had them all. And he was also certain that that would be the hardest one to get all of the 9 pieces together, because he felt he would need a complete set. So he set people in the path of finding them, but not in the path of making them a requirement. He also charged his son with taking his place as the kind of distancing himself from his father's teachings. He talks about how guiding him into that so that he could get as close as he could to the Violet Conclave's libraries and resources, because he felt that if he could hear the prophecies that Sumat was speaking, that there may be some hints as to paths that he would have taken to achieve his goal, because he was so certain that he would be successful that it'd be like hearing the prophecy would give him the information that he would need in order to carry out the prophecy. There is very little discussion of a priori at this point. He seems to have abandoned them as a useful resource, but he has ultimately allowed them to continue to flourish under the direction mostly of Dane, and they seem to have gone in directions that he didn't really care about, but he's isolated here. You also get the first discussions of his work to create a divine rebus, and at the tail end of this, he mentions the creation of the murder of a Lightbringer to create Mother, and realizes that it doesn't capture what he needs from the divine rebus because it's only positive light. And then so he ultimately, at the tail end of his research period here, is you see the description of the creation of Saurus, and a description of his work with Praetor Yakuzi, who he had brought into the fold as an ally of protection, but had not given Yakuzi the full picture of what it would mean to support Ahriman. He felt like he had tricked Yakuzi into giving him resources and information as a form of saving Nuevia versus as a way of uplifting Ahriman. But Yakuzi freely gave him the information that he needed, and so he has there. There is at the tail end a kind of a footnote or an element where he does mention again Caliga Nvidia and the Tenebrous Core, and here he specifically mentions that he specifically says, and it seems to be a more cogent thing, that even killing Caiaphas, while a good deed and ridding the world of divinity once and for all and allowing humanity to spark itself without the guides of a god, which is weird because he wants to become one, he still says the Court of Shadows still remains. Their construction of the Tenebrous Core to channel Caiaphas's powers into their own court could potentially lead to additional problems in the event of destruction either way. Now, the Court of Shadows is something that you can roll a religion check on.
Okay.
Can I help?
Yep.
Yeah, please. Oh my
Roll
God.
with me.
Is this related to Fae, Fiend, or Undead?
It is related to Fiend.
Okay. I don't remember what bonus that gives me, but it gives me something.
I think it just gives you advantage on the roll, which you already have.
Well, but I asked.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
You know, maybe
proficiency bonus?
Well, I think you already are proficient in religion.
It's a certain bonus.
Oh, I am. I forgot that. I always think religion's wisdom, and it's not. And I will actually fight about that because it should be.
Yeah, it is kind of.
What was that?
23.
So the Court of Shadows is an archaic, as in like pre-subversion. When the news of what was happening to Caiaphas was first coming out, there was this like discussion about this organization called the Court of Shadows, and people weren't exactly sure what it was. But as the subversion happened and Caiaphas began to wage war and brought forth the power of the Veil, you would know them not as the Court of Shadows, but as the Shadow Brethren. And they represent the 5 entities that when Caiaphas first began to go mad and he began to dream fiends and like devils and demons into existence, they were the first. They were the 5 like generals of his army, basically. And you know, one of them is Abraxas, who is in command of all fiends in the abyss, or of demons in the abyss. You know Sathanas, who is the lord of Ereshkigal, which is where the devils exist. You know that one is Javaraya, who he was corrupted, like the Empyrean that was corrupted by Caiaphas's work. And then you also know that there is a Tempest, who is was his attempt at creating a new Empyrean, but was kind of like a Tiamat type figure, like multiple Empyreans bound into one entity, but she was born scaleless, and therefore kind of had madness in her. And then the last one was Zerachiel, who is very famous for being one of the leaders of Belinor's army, who fell during the subversion and like had gone into the Veil in order to try to end the fight once and for all as one of the most powerful warriors of the light, but was trapped and corrupted and became the leader of the dark armies. There's also mention of the First, who is not named, but based on the descriptions of what you know about the First, is that you think that that is the guardian who killed the first Lightbringer, and then ultimately joined Caiaphas's armies. But the Court of Shadows is typically the Shadow Brethren, the leaders of Caiaphas's power, who still are working behind the scenes to free him now, but also seem to have built something to channel his power as well.
Something outside of the core?
No, it seems from what Ahriman believes that because he was trapped in the Veil at the tail end of the subversion, so Caiaphas was locked away while he was still in the Veil, and they were constructing the Tenebrous Core to channel the power of Caiaphas because he had been removed from his plane of existence. So they were trying to channel the power, even though he had been removed. Yeah.
I mean, Marlo, I wager to assume that if we could somehow remove this Tenebrous Core from play, that's maybe a major win as far as stopping the Veil altogether.
Josh.
Yes.
So from what he's saying here and what I have read into it, is he saying that in his opinion, going into Caliga and Vidia, like invading there and messing up the core is more profitable, helpful, and killing the Veil permanently than killing Caiaphas.
The opposite.
The opposite.
He seems to be under the impression that in all ways, Caiaphas is the origin of the Veil. He was locked away as an attempt to end the Veil, and the Veil is only continued because the Tenebrous core was constructed to channel his power. And so in many ways, the way Saurus was being used as a battery to power this deification, the Tenebrous core was constructed as a battery to maintain that energy that Caiaphas had put out.
Right. So you can kill the battery, but the power source is still there.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Plan's still on, gang. Plan's still on. Don't worry.
All right. And the final section is, because of that natural 20 as well, I'll give you the final section, is a devolution into madness that you see as paranoia. There's pages that he tore out and literally has like written notes to people that he think are reading the journal after this, and he's like, "You'll never have my secrets." Like there's so much but even in that, the scrawls and writings, there's not a lot of sense in what he's saying, in that seems to be under what he thinks is a ticking clock, and nothing that he is doing is working appropriately. The people that he's depended on have been failures in providing the resources that he needed. The spilling of blood is the only thing that he can imagine will ultimately succeed in the end. So he's gathered together the prismatic array to sacrifice them. He has ransacked libraries and has come up fruitless with the resources that he needs. But he is keenly aware that within weeks, something is going to happen that needs a counterbalance, or the entire world will be set into conundrum. He specifically references the closing of the portals in the Feywild, and says that by removing the magical energy there, the divine energy that was like flowing through the realms has now stopped. And there's a chance that what's left over of the divine energy of the other gods who sacrifice themselves, that it will dissipate. And so he was trying to convince them to reopen the portals. They couldn't do that. There's all of these things. He was rushing towards a conclusion, and he was not certain about the success of what he was doing. But he was going to try it anyway, because he felt that there was a timeline that was coming quickly to a close. The last entry was written a week ago.
We see anywhere where he indicates what that timeline was leading to? Why there was this sense of urgency?
He does talk about in there the buildup of forces at the Blight. And the thing that probably scares you the most about what he wrote is he says, the Blight is being guarded. It's one of 9 points to be worried about.
Oh my goodness. And that is the last chunk of what he writes about.
Yes, because then that's where he seems to have, shortly after that would have been getting Saurus, returning, starting the ritual. He does not write out the ritual for anybody. You think it's probably something that he didn't want anybody to be able to follow in his footsteps. Yeah. Specifically, the idea of he sees himself as I'm going to be this god that's going to be good and just and protect people. And he knew that if he left behind the path there, that somebody who is not good and just could follow in his footsteps.
So the Tenebrous device fed energy from Caiaphas into the Feywild.
The Feywild was one of the sources of energy, but the Tenebrous Core specifically was pulling energy from Caiaphas, who's in the material plane, back to the Shadowfell so that the veil could be maintained.
Okay, because if you had mentioned way back when we were shutting down the connections that's one of the drains. So basically, by clogging the drain,
yes,
that energy has to go somewhere, and that's being shunted over to the veil. So the veil's now drinking from the fire hose.
Yes, sure. But it doesn't. So it doesn't have access to the life and magical energy. So it's drinking from a different source of energy, because the veil and the Feywild were like the alternates of each other. So if the veil was kicking out life and magical energy, and the veil was sucking out magical and life energy, there was a balance there. But now the only energy that the veil can feed on is the leftover divine energy from the gods. So cleric, like he's like, so you're definitely thinking like right now, if you have a cleric who has been feeding off of the leftover divine energies and has still been able to cast, even though their god is dead, that eventually will disappear.
Oh shit. That's crazy. Damn. It's too bad that was entirely my fault. Jesus Christ.
My bad.
I'm not sorry about it.
Okay. If I were to look at a map of Alyria and think about what I know, and any little fucking hint that this man who loves to play the pronoun game and just never say any proper nouns is doing, can I, in any sense of the word, find out what the other 8 points besides the blight are?
Yeah. From what he implies is that any of the Terrace Honor, any of the towers are potentially at risk. People think that the blight is the most at risk because it was the spot where the veil attacked the last time, right? And that it's the weakest point of the veil. But there have been veil incursions everywhere along the veil. So any of those sites could potentially be assailed. The only thing about them is that they are in slightly more potentially like inland areas of Alyria. Like they're actually on the continent of Alyria itself. There's only 3 that are not. So the one at the Blight is kind of off the main continent of Alyria. There's one south of the Vanishing Isles, which is off the main continent of Alyria. And then there's one off the coast of Rheingerod, like in the far north, that's off the main coast of Alyria. But the other ones seemed like people don't pay attention to the other ones because it's like that's on our soil. So it's like those are going to be safe.
Okay.
Yeah, if we ask you to mark those points on a map at some point for us, just
they're on the
map.
The towers are marked on the map.
They're on the map,
right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
Like they're the large circles on the outer rim of the map.
Yep. So the lonely lower right. Okay.
On the map. It's the map.
It's the original black and it's the original color one that gave us.
I'll post it in the chat again so you all have it. Fred.
So I definitely.
If you want me to copy it.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Rob. But yeah, so the ones that he seemed to be the most concerned about, I mean, he was concerned about all of them, but the ones he was most concerned about is there's one kind of in the mountains off to the side of the Vanishing Isles. There's the one at the Blight. And then there's the one at Rheingerod. Oh, and then, sorry, the one at the Lonely Islands, which is in the Shadowed Gulf, is the other one. Yeah.
So,
Roy.
very cool. Everyone say thanks, Ahriman.
This is.
Thank you, Ahriman.
You're welcome.
This is quite disturbing.
You see it. Now make a Constitution saving throw. No, I'm joking. It's fine. Yeah.
I was waiting for you to.
Reading my journal.
The journal just starts talking.
Oh my god.
What the hell, people?
Yeah.
Ahriman, please stop making us make intelligence saves. I'm begging you. I'm
No.
begging you.
Where's?
Damn.
I'm fighting the urge to scream from the mountaintops. We're all doomed. We're
Yeah,
all
I feel
doomed.
like Abel and I are like in some like library soundproof.
Yeah, I mean, like Abel's little library in the
like just staring into nothing. Like, oh god, what the fuck?
Did Saurus go in the mansion, or did he sleep on the ship? Okay.
He's on the deck, sleeping on the deck. He's strung up the hammock.
Sounds good.
So.
I kind of wish we were back at the Citadel, the Flying Citadel, so we can utilize that library.
You have all of Sypha's and Thoradin's writings.
Right.
At this point, even I'm sick of all the reading.
I know. I don't want to read anything else that'll hurt me. Everything we've read is just really hurt. He mentioned.
What do we do with?
He mentioned your old teacher in there. Are you?
He did.
Are you feeling any kind of way about that?
Well, it is a bit shameful to know the hand that he had in creating Ahriman's grand plan. I am a bit elated that he did not completely trust him. But that being said, he still made the decisions he made. I'm wondering if he would be any help right now. Deciding what up. I mean, we now know that the blight is only one point that we need to be focused on.
Well, I think if we just tried to protect the towers, like Ahriman said, then we're not really getting at the source of the problem. So I think now it's
Daring to fight a god?
I mean, yeah, I think we have to fight a god.
Perhaps there's a way to restore his mind, and I mean, it's one thing to fight Ahriman, who wants to reach godhood, but a sleeping mad god that could only be locked away after the others sacrifice themselves. It's not an opponent I want to stand against.
Yeah, this is how crazy Ahriman was from his time in the Vale. I don't want to know how crazy someone is that has been there that long. What do you even say to someone like that? Oh god, I hate this.
It's better? I don't know what to say.
It gets better.
It's better. You Trevor project.
I'd like to say it literally did not get better for him, Ronnie. It got about as bad as it possibly could be. A bunch of gays came and killed him right before his big plan.
And now we're going to try and mansplain away his mental health issues.
The Trevor Project.
And you're all looking at his journal just laughing at him. This is his worst nightmare.
We're looking at his journal terrified. Oh my god.
True.
Oh my god.
The Ahriman Project.
But then they crack his journal in one night. This is literally his worst nightmare. It's very fun. Very funny, actually.
Did he ever? I know the answer is no. Did he ever mention, like, save source in the project and the creation and stuff? Did he ever mention us, or were we so irrelevant in his brain?
that would be honor.
Yeah. There is a mention of not like of you all individually, but you can see the touch of the ticket takers at each of his, like when he discusses setbacks in his plans, like when he was seeking out Quicksilver, when he was seeking out Zephrysite, when he was seeking out these different things.
You can tell he like broke the pencil he was writing too hard.
Yeah. but as most like arrogant, whatever, he mentions people who he sees at his same level. And so like, even the way he talks about like people like Yakuzi or, Alyria Highwind is very much as like tools that he can use. The only person that you sense that he had like a begrudging respect for was Lenaria Mistweaver.
Wow.
Which is part of the reason that he never attempted to get her on his side, is because he felt like as an equal that she would never fall into the plan.
So cool.
Such a bad guy.
Such a bad man.
Yeah.
Pronounced bad G.
Yeah.
It's
fuck. I know the sun's probably already out, but I'm not sleeping tonight after that.
You already took the point of exhaustion. No need to.
Yeah, but just like, but we're in the mansion, so we don't really know the time, and I'm just like, nah, we're not sleeping.
The whole time, like the crystal constructs have been bringing you coffee or tea or whatever, and just keeping you fueled through the evening.
Methamphetamines.
Methamphetamines, yeah.
It's when you hear Kaimana like fall out of his hammock into the pool that's in his bed, that it's like, oh god. Oh, it's morning. Oh Jesus.
So do we tell the rest of the team now, or do we let them have?
I feel like we should recap it and just say, like, Ahriman was crazy, and there's a lot to unpack with that. But the big takeaway is he maintained that killing Caiaphas was the only way to permanently put an end to the Veil. And I think maybe we shouldn't mention anything about the closing of the Feywild, because I think Jury's gonna have a mental fucking breakdown and throw himself off the ship if we do that.
Yeah, okay, we perhaps will not mention that here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just maybe when this is all done, we can have a good laugh about it, but not now.
Oh no, I'm scared. I don't want to fight a god.
I don't either. I don't.
And how do we know that is the right thing to do?
It feels like we just fought one. Like, it feels like that fight was like the hardest thing I've ever done, and I mentally can't process how something is supposed to be worse. But we won't be alone. Hopefully, we can, I don't know, have the dragons, maybe ask Miss Weaver, get some people. We're probably gonna need a lot of people at the Blight to hold it off, but maybe a couple of people, trusted individuals.
You're right, we have a lot of powerful allies.
We do.
We've collected.
I mean, just, anyone that's willing to kill a god for us.
Maybe. Maybe we give it some time. Let the others have a good day. Kaimana and Krakoa, they can reunite with family and
Yeah,
we will
totally.
circle back to this.
You should check up with your folks. Because the blight's okay right now, but I want to make sure Nuevia is too.
I'll ask our jury to check in. I've purposely been sort of distant because, going to be honest, I grew up quite pampered, and being a member of the Ticket Takers and these hard battles we'd have to fight, the challenges we faced, there has not been a single day where I've not thought to myself, I could just go back home and continue my life of bliss and comfort. I think the more I stay in touch with my family, the more that temptation will pull me that way.
Out of character here. Yeah. You're really roughing it here in this portable mansion with flying airship.
I mean, we did just face near death.
Yeah,
Source will actually respond
not
to
the current surroundings, but
We're here?
At some
This
point,
is not
I feel like no.
I thought y'all had gathered.
No.
No, y'all were talking
this
about.
is just
Yeah, everyone is probably in the process of waking up
me
now.
opening up tomorrow.
No, I thought y'all had mentioned about giving us an overview heads up, and for some reason I took that as that was actually happening.
They literally said they didn't want to tell you for an entire day, so you could have a good day.
People,
Never mind.
I think all of us want to do that. There are many days here where I wish I just lived in the woods alone and didn't talk to anyone again. Rather than be doing this. But, temptation aside,
we're doing the right thing. Yes.
Yeah, you're here. And if at any point you decided, like, hey, I've actually hit my limit and I'm going to tap out, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just we would be a little fucked because you do have a lot of cool gadgets and robots and spells and probably a bunch of other stuff that I don't even know the name of. So
I appreciate that. I don't think I would ever just walk out on you all. You know too many of my secrets. So.
That's true. The expose that we could all write on you.
Precisely. So the longer I stick around, the more I learn about you. It's more I can use to bribe you.
Well, maybe what do they call it? Like a post-mortem, after I'm dead, you can publish whatever you want.
In memoriam. Oh, I've written down a lot, so I'll hold you to that.
All right. As you guys are kind of finishing up the conversation, everyone else is waking up. The Magnificent Mansion spell comes to a close, and you all find yourself back on the deck of the ship. Jury, Soros, Kaimana, you wake up from a long rest, and you are all good to go. And you discover Marlowe and Abel probably pretty bleary-eyed as the morning begins.
What happened? You all look awful.
We were just reading.
Lots of interesting reading.
Is it a good book?
It was a good book. Lots of information.
It was an interesting read.
Yep. Which makes it a good book.
Lots to unpack. Really sits with you.
Yeah.
Is it something I'd know about?
It's like do you read?
Kind of insulting.
I've known you a couple months. I've never really seen you read a book, so that's just a reasonable question.
It is a reasonable question.
It's a legitimate question. Let me make a intelligence check real quick.
Can you read?
I'm asking, do you read?
You can read.
I can't read. I can't. I just don't know if Kaimana does.
Oh, does he read?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a 2, so no.
No.
Yeah, he does not like reading.
Prefer the movies.
He's a storyteller. Not a story reader.
There you go.
Fair. That's fair.
Towards the oral
Kaimana
tradition.
would love an audiobook.
Yes.
Mhm. Oh man.
Roy Detrice is his man.
So we can fill you in at another time. Let's do
what we need to do, and then we'll catch up. Let's take a breath.
Okay, well, it sounds like you had a good time, and if you were going to stay up all night.
Yeah, it was a fun sleepover.
Yes.
I love this oblivious little shit.
You see Jerry, and Jerry's like, so we're not going to talk about it right now?
It's like a lot to unpack. It's nothing immediately pressing. Nothing that's shattering, really.
Yeah, I don't look at Mar when she's saying this. I look to Abel to see if I can tell if they're lying, because I will not be able to tell if Mar is lying. But
so unfortunately, Abel's not the one lying.
True.
So if you'd like to,
looking at me.
Yeah. So if you'd like to make an insight check with disadvantage against Marlowe's deception.
I'm gonna fail that. Jerry wouldn't even attempt. I can't sense anything. I'm just suspicious of her in general.
I mean, my deception's not great if you want to roll off, but
exhaustion.
We can try. We'll try.
Just attack rolls.
You said with disadvantage?
It's skill checks.
I have exhaustion, so I'm gonna have.
So it'd be disadvantage on the deception check.
I rolled through my dice into the fucking abyss.
I rolled. Oh my god! What the fuck? I rolled a nat 1 and a nat 20. What the hell? That's
so it's a nat 1.
I only got a 12.
Yeah. No, that was a nat 1. So yeah,
it was disadvantage for me.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I got a 12.
So Jerry, the instinct to think that they might be hiding something from you is not you're not like convinced that they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. All right, I'm at ease then. Could be a good day. Cool.
It's like, you know how you have to like
underneath you tomorrow.
You know how you have a story and you just kind of need to sit with it and let it like process. Like it's one of those things.
It's one of those situations.
Yeah. Oh, cool. So today's plan is to go to the island.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody to the tree.
All right, to the tree.
All right. Eris and Mother decide to stay behind on the ship just to keep watch with the rats.
With the rats.
Oh, I asked Jury if they can check in with Noavia.
Sure. Oh, can you roll my chaos, Josh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So roll D10. Or what is it? Yeah, D10.
D10. That's not a D10.
Oh my god, why is there a magnet there?
I got a 3.
A 3. So after the chaos of the last couple of days, you feel very chill.
Okay, great. All right, I cast sending. Who am I sending to? What do you want me to say?
Which able parent?
Ogun. Ogun is.
I love Ogun.
Yeah, he's the only one at Noavia. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My other dad.
Okay. Just get him to clarify what the situation in Noavia is, and if we need to like get there faster.
Okay. Should I tell him that we killed Ahriman too?
Yeah.
I think you did
Yeah,
that
yeah,
yesterday.
Did we?
but,
Did I already tell him that?
Can't remember. I know you
Maybe.
called yesterday.
We did because I asked
Yeah.
you to
Yeah, because he
tell
said
him
the alarming
to send
thing, which is why
reinforcements.
I wanted to check in with him.
Okay.
Yeah, so he should already know that information. Yeah.
I'll call him. I'll be like, "Hi, Oakwin. We're on our way. Anything pressing? Any news? How are you? I hope you're having a great day. I miss you." That's it.
His last call was things are not great here. And you're like, hey, Bessie.
I love Oakwin.
All right. So the call comes back from Ogun, and he says, "Hey, Jerry, it is good to hear from you again. Good to know that you're all still safe and traveling this way. Our troops are heading to the Blight. Orish has said that odd ships and increasing incursions in the last 2 days. Concerned things may be ramping up there."
Okay, I pass that along to everyone.
quicker we get to the Blight to give reinforcements, the better. But I understand this.
I should have asked you. I should have asked you to ask him if he could have stuff like our the stuff we need to restock on right there ready for us, so we don't have to take
Yeah, I think
probably got that.
I could have just said keep supplies ready.
Yeah,
I think
that's
I had
fine.
enough.
I think you had
to
enough
say
words for that. Yeah, he said he would keep things. Yep.
Cuckoo. All right, let's walk.
They've been marshaling forces to send troops.
They would already have them organized.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's walk through a tree.
All right. So Kaimana goes to the coconut tree and activates the spell. You all walk through and you leave the windy, cold...
And Saurus is going to stay back on the boat because he needs time to recover.
Sure.
And that way I'm not...
pulling double duty. Yeah.
I will do that. Yeah. I am not afraid. But
all right, you guys have fun. We'll watch the ship. We'll be all good. And you all walked through. And you leave the cold, windy, flying high, and you appear on the warm, sandy beach of Kaimana's homeland. The gently lapping waves, whispering up onto the shore, and the morning fishing vessels out in the cove, and people out about their daily business. And you have returned to home for Kaimana and Kakoa.
Kind of takes a big breath. Just. I love that.
It is very nice to be back home.
Yeah. Time for your retirement. Good way to go out.
Great way to go out.
TK the Dragon Slayer. I like it.
It was pretty awesome.
It was.
I don't think we could have done that without you. So
for sure
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go talk to the council and let them know what's going on.
Yeah.
All right. So you make your way off the beach up towards the main city structure, climbing the coast. You walk through town. There, people are looking at you, but they recognize you, and so there's just general hellos to Kakoa and Kaimana and the ticket takers. Small children who you bathed once are kind of clamoring and following you through town.
So be kids.
Hoping for maybe a treat or a snack as you make your way. But you eventually get to the center of town where the Makuhine meet, and you find Kaimana's mother as well as some of the other leaders of the Makuhine. They're kind of lounging in the day. They are eating a breakfast of delicious fruits and some smoked meats and things, some fish and rice, and
Rex meat.
yeah. And then the moment Kaimana, your mother, sees you, she kind of rises up and she rushes over. I was so worried. I was afraid that you were going to be hurt. It's good to see you. And she brings you into a hug. Let me look you over. Are you injured? Are there any places? Do you need any attention or care? Are you good?
I'm fine. I'm fine,
Okay.
Mom.
What are your friends? Are everyone else all right?
Yes, everybody's fine.
Good.
Now.
Physically, yes.
The Kakoa goes out and stands and is like, I would like to address them. Rob can't pronounce.
Makuhine, you're good. Yeah.
Makahane.
Mm-hmm.
So he states formally that he.
The kind of the lounging members like sit upright and they're like, of course, if the Kakoa needs to speak to the Makuhine, he may.
As many of you have noticed, I'm not getting any younger. And I have been the Kakoa longer than any other Kakoa. But that time has now come to pass that on to someone else. I fulfilled my lifelong dream of killing a dragon. It doesn't get any better than this. And with what I know what's going on in the world, it may not ever get any better than this. Which is why, after I retire, I'm going to lead a contingent of volunteers to go back to the Profane Citadel, which is now an island. There's a whole story there. I'll tell you later. To clear its inhabitants of the Draconans and the Wyverns and all that, so that the wealth of knowledge can once again enter the world to help protect it. So, as my last official act, I name my successor Kaimana.
Oh,
He is the fiercest warrior I know. And as events have shown me, our protection needs to come from beyond just what's safe on this island. And my name, for all of you who have forgotten it, is Makani. And he bows and he walks off.
Right.
I'm gonna roll a.
Jerry's just clapping.
I'm gonna roll a con save to not faint real quick.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
That is the noblest art I ever.
So
He's the most fierce warrior I know.
and then he faints.
Can I catch him and
Yeah.
try to weaken Bernie steps so it doesn't look like he made it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So they, the Makuhine kind of look at each other and then look back as the Kakoa is leaving the tent and then looking at Kaimana. Well, it is tradition for the Kakoa to name his successor. It's been mostly a ceremonial title up until this point. I think we can maintain that energy. But they go along because that is the Kakoa's right to name his successor.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
And I blindsided even Josh with that. I
You
was going to
did,
warn
yeah.
you. Like, no, I want to see what happens.
Oh God.
That's a good one. That's a good little
Yes.
storybook ending.
Kaimana, you wake up.
I had the weirdest dream that the Kakoa retired and named me as his successor.
Meanwhile, they're bringing this like ceremonial garb out and they're putting it on your body as you're waking up.
A giant tea leaf leg.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, buddy. The Kakoa resigned and made you his successor.
welcome to the dream world.
Oh,
Don't worry. You deserve it.
You got it. You
You
got
did.
it.
guys, they know I'm just like a person, right? Like I'm just a little guy. Like
I don't know. Kakoa seemed like a guy.
Yeah,
Right.
he's also just a guy.
Yeah.
To be fair,
And he
we
killed
also
the
just
dragon.
found out he had a name. Like, he truly was just a guy the whole
I also
time.
really don't know what the Kakoa is. Like, he protects stuff and, like, hangs out.
Yeah, to be fair,
gives
What are your
gave us a
responsibilities now?
solid
Yes.
job description on that. We just kind of took him at face
He's
value.
he's the island's champion.
You have a 401c now, technically.
All the clams you could buy.
All the clips you could want.
As long as those
well, that
stocks
sounds
stay.
like that sounds like
the
something.
island's protector. That's
Yeah.
the protector of the people, the Luternians. So
And what better way to protect them than to stop the end of the world?
Guys, I woke up in a canoe
Very
because
well
I
said,
fell
Judy.
asleep one time, and now I'm like the island protector. I don't know what's
Yeah, but
happening.
it's a communal. You're not the only person protecting the island. You have a lot of people that help you. You just delegate. It's like you with the rats.
Also,
Okay.
sweetheart,
It's
it's
just like the
way
rats.
we are way too far down the line for you to be concerned about this at this point. We just killed a dragon on a floating island who wanted to become God. And you're worried about a community position? Yes.
Okay, like when you put it like that, sure,
Like
but
the Parks and Rec.
but I was just like, I don't know about the attention.
Hey, we all have to start thinking about what we're gonna do when this is all over.
Kaimana, your mother kind of speaks up.
If
Well,
only she knew. They knew what we knew.
well, Kaimana, you know that our society is mostly focused on what women are doing. We gave the position of the Kakoa to the strongest man in the village so that he would find worth and go out and do something with himself and not just lounge around.
You're just kidding. You're just
His job is beach.
so if you get to kind of make the Kakoa what you want, but I imagine you'll still want to go off on your adventures and be safe out in the world. You can do that and keep the island safe.
Just like his little I am special crown.
Yeah, you get a little sheriff's
So-
badge.
it's the Burger King paper crown.
It is. Yeah. I now pronounce you the Burger King. You're fine. Like,
Oh wow. That's so funny.
I've been saving that up for 2 or 3 weeks now.
God.
It's like if he goes out dying by killed and y'all try to resurrect him, he's not going to come back. And if he does kill the dragon, he's retiring and handing it over to Kaimana.
Incredible.
There you go.
And it gives us a
Very
nice
good.
Deus Ex Machina since the Nuavians are having to go to the Blight for getting the Profane Citadel under control, but
Yeah.
not in
Yep, yep.
such a short time as it is a game changer for Josh.
Yeah. Right.
Not that he would let that happen
Imagine
anyway.
an army.
Well, I mean,
of
if it was
otters.
possible, I absolutely would let it happen. But yeah. But right.
That's amazing.
So, anything
Good
else
call, Rob. Good call.
that you all
So-
would like to accomplish on the island?
Yeah, once we're done, I kind of want to I'm like, hey guys, I'm gonna go walk down the beach for a little bit, and I want to go off on my own for a second.
Okay.
I'm gonna go skirt down that beach, and I get a certain way down, and I do ascending, as Josh loves a chaotic sending from me. I do ascending to Iris.
Iris. Okay. Let me see. Hold on. I had to pull up my calendar to see where Iris is right now.
Yes, I have no idea. It's been that long since I checked in with her.
They fully trust
Secrets
me
upon
now.
secrets upon
It's
secrets.
time to strike.
It's
Yeah.
time to kill
I
all
know.
my friends. I
Okay.
only had the brain power to pull that off.
Okay. I know where she is now. You're good. Yeah.
Okay. I say, sorry, can't come there. Ahriman is dead. Going to the Blight against the Veil. Vox Populi taught me to keep the innocent safe. And I will.
There's a pause and then a call comes back to you. Good to know that bastard has seen the light of the end of his days. Sad I couldn't be the one to deliver the blow. we're doing our work in Anavir to keep people safe. And potentially planting seeds for what may grow when this all comes into a close. Carry that torch. Keep fighting.
Good. All right. And
I couldn't remember what her accent was.
Yeah, I think it was something
Couldn't
like
I
that.
think she was
remember.
just like a normal person.
Yeah.
I thought she was too, but I couldn't remember. A lot of
I think she was
Anavirian
chill.
people were British, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I don't think she was. She's counterculture. She's not.
She, yeah, sure. Yeah.
All right, I'll skirt back to rejoin everyone.
All right.
That's it for me.
Now you guys are trapped here for a day,
Yeah, that's true.
unless Jury uses teleportation to take you to Nuevia. But
Well, what would y'all like to do? Do you want to go to Nuevia now?
Kaimana's gonna eat some poi.
okay.
I try to
Easy enough
drink.
to find?
I try to drink. I still can't drink. I'm still unable to get drunk.
Alcohol
Oh.
still, I think, for like 3 or 4 more days, still has no effect on Jury.
Jesus.
This may be forever, and I hate that for me. Jury has no idea. I know, but he's like,
could win-
I
you
may
could win
never
some
be
bar
drunk
bets.
again. I don't care to do that.
I'm sure they can do a really good mocktail here.
Yeah, I'll go get a mocktail.
I mean, when alcohol doesn't have an effect, isn't everything a mocktail?
I mean, that's a good
And
point.
I'm
Like-
just picturing the Laternians taking that literally and serving some drink with like
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 seaweed
crab
that's
tail.
been braided to look like a tail. Yeah, a mocktail.
It is mocking me, so you
Mhm.
did a good job.
Well, enjoy. It's got lots of coconut in it.
Good.
If we're just kind of kicking sand and killing time, Abel's gonna like reach into the bag of holding for some trinkets. I'm gonna make the former Krakoa like a parting gift. I'm gonna make him a little clam opener. It's something to remember the ticket takers by.
Oh, that's so good.
A little shucker.
A shucker.
I love
and
it.
they don't really have those on the island because metal is so precious.
Yeah.
So this is like, here's a $3 million
Yeah.
to open clams
Yeah.
with.
And it's an automatic
Ooh.
shucker. It's not even like, yeah.
Yeah, no. So he will absolutely think this is the greatest thing, greatest gift he has ever been given.
Incredible.
I think the longest serving Krakoa deserves a nice retirement gift. So
This would be a good time, actually. Josh, that thing I talked to you about the little dragon idol.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kaimana's gonna still swathed in like lays and like accoutrement, come up to Abel and be like, Abel, can you make something for me?
most certainly can.
This is a black pearl my mother gave me. Could you carve it into like a dragon shape?
Oh, I have been practicing my jewelry cutting to perfect my work with Zephyrite. Sure, I could try. Am I gonna fuck this up, Josh?
Well, if you use the Everspark,
Oh,
Can I help by like doing a drawing of a
Sure, yeah.
dragon to like give him something to reference so he's not like going off of like
I'll take it, but
draw a
I've
dragon without any reference kind
Yeah.
of thing.
no, I'll definitely take it. But I've seen that green dragon in my dreams many times. So.
the last thing you saw of Tyranid is just, I'm not flying with you, I'll buy. Yeah, so you would have advantage, Abel, and then it's a tool check that
So,
you
oh, well, we're good with that.
yeah,
then
because you're
fine.
using the Everspark.
What does the Everspark give me? Just
Well, I mean, it decreases the amount of time it takes to construct something, but it gives you, it allows you to use your tool proficiency for any task like this, whether you have the tool proficiency or not.
34.
A 34. It's a beautifully carved dragon, very much in the style of the Naginda's the blue dragon protector of the isle style, but it's captures the light beautifully.
Thank you
This
so
is
much.
pretty good work, no?
I would cherish it always.
Anytime, come on, anytime. I mean, the Krakoa.
Please call me Kaimana.
Okay. Whatever you prefer. Kaimana. I like it.
The Kaimana.
The Kaimana.
The Kaimana.
Because it was a title.
Yeah, it's a title.
It's like the chief of police.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Except thank God he wasn't that. Anyway.
All right. Anything else that you'd all like to take care of this day before you bed down for a night?
We should go take some time to meditate by the ocean and see if I can call my dad, the dragon.
Sure. Yeah.
I have so many mother figures, and he's my only father figure.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
besides my actual dad.
I was about to say, what about your dad?
Yeah, well,
he's like just playing songs at a bar in Nuevia right now.
Just chilling.
Yeah.
They're having a great time, and I'm not going to worry them about any of those.
That's
I was
cute.
gonna do the same thing later to talk to his ancestor.
Who's walking around the island somewhere. You could probably find him. Yeah.
I'll wait till after Yates is done.
Yeah. All right. So you kind of get into meditation and you reach out to Naginda. You find yourself in a space of kind of that limbic space in the middle of consciousness. And then you wake up and you are not in his sitting room chamber. You're kind of standing on a cliffside that's overlooking a far below you shoreline. I'm sorry, I didn't have the ability to kind of go into thinking mode here. We just arrived at the Blight, the forward.
Oh, great. Ahriman's dead. I just wanted to share that.
I don't want to cheer the spilling of dragon blood, but I don't think that there was any other outcome that could have come from that.
No, he was like mid spell. It was that old new god. So
all the Empyreans aren't here yet. They're checking on a few other locations. But I'm here with Sumat and her grandson.
who's Sumat's grandson? Am I supposed to know who that is?
Yeah, he's.
No?
You've caught him he's not asleep, so he's like dividing his consciousness between being awake and having this conversation with you. You know that Sumat's grandson, because Sumat's son is Victor Rylus, that her grandson would be Volmir Rylus.
Whoa, what? What?
We are.
I'm sorry, Volmir Rylus is there with you right now?
We're quite aware of his machinations with his father, and felt keeping him close by would be better than allowing him to run free.
Okay, so he's just in timeout is what we're doing? That's what we're cool. I mean, not my grandson, not my problem, I guess, but
yeah.
Can't tell other people how to parent, but okay.
Yeah.
Well, that solves one question. Confirmed that Caiaphas does have to die for this to end, though, or suddenly change his mind and become cool again very quickly. But
did you get the sense in anything you learned from Ahriman that you could have reached him?
that could have reached Ahriman?
Yes.
No. Maybe at the beginning of it, but he didn't see other people as people, no matter what he may have claimed. Or he thought himself so above everyone that it didn't matter. I don't think there's reasoning with people like that.
Then you may be right about Caiaphas.
All right, really heavy to drop on me, but yeah, cool. Okay.
Well, the dragons are here.
We're coming there.
We will be by your side. We can't follow you to the Vale if you decide to go to Calaga and Video, but in any other space, we'll be beside you.
Yeah, I think we have to find the power source. So, cool. Thanks. Sorry that I always call you with bad news. When this is over, I'm sure it'll just be good news. Just hanging out.
Well,
just great vibes.
I am sorry this is the world that we left you. But thank you for helping to clean up my mess.
I mean, you know, that the thing trying to end the world aside, it's a good world. It's very worth saving.
He kind of turns. Right. Sorry, I have to go.
Okay.
And the connection is cut.
Oh, alarming. Hate that. Okay.
That's good.
But you know that 2 of the Empyreans are at the Blight.
Yeah. I tell the group about that, and that Volmir Rylus is just, I don't know.
No.
Just with Grandma. Just chilling.
But Grandma is going to hold him down.
Is Grandma going... is he a prisoner?
I mean, I assume the fact that he couldn't get back to Ahriman means that he's, you know, leashed for the time being, and they don't know what else to do with him when there's kind of world-ending stuff happening. So, better he fights on for us. I mean, another dragon on our side is helpful.
You have to fight a god, yeah.
Fighting gods. We started out undamming rivers and...
Yeah. That's what you guys started off doing? Undamming rivers?
Yeah, just fighting giant beavers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are the giant beavers for my part of it?
Well,
we were doing like political intrigue
giant
shit.
beavers.
I immediately got thrown into the shit.
Well, you kind of started it when you showed up for us.
What do you mean I started it? Yorian started it. Don't throw it on me.
No, we weren't dealing with political intrigue really until you got involved with us. And then it was a lot.
Well, I guess that's kind of true.
That's what happens when a bard joins a party.
Yeah, that's true.
See, you helped us to level up, Judy. That's the way to look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of like that though.
You expanded our skill set.
He's so easily swayed by these words, and he's just gonna be fine with it.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
Yeah, he loves it.
You really escalated the situation.
Thank you. That's my favorite thing to do. Good stuff.
The beavers thing reminds me of Jace calling out what's his name in the last fight.
What is his name?
Yorick. No.
Tiernan?
No. Fight before that.
Yusef.
Lady Haverly. Yusef.
Oh.
Yusef, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it was that same of the.
It's that same thing, but yours lasted for an episode and mine lasted for 6 months.
But it was still a victory. So
We shared the same amount of joy, is the thing. In finding out we were right.
Oh, Yusef.
Kaimana.
Bless his heart.
Bless his heart.
All right. Anything else you guys like to accomplish before you take a rest so that you can return to the ship tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm just gonna hunt down my ancestor and talk to him.
Okay. So as you all kind of either find lodging or Abel sets up the magnificent mansion, Kaimana, you kind of go on a walkabout, and you do see your in his Lutrinian form kind of standing at the head of the cove, like looking out to the waters beyond. You find your dragon ancestor.
Kaimana trips like a couple times over the lays, like walking up to him.
Without even kind of looking at you, he just says, you know, you don't have to wear all of that all the time. It's.
I feel like it'd be rude to take it off the day of.
Are they going to throw a feast for you?
They didn't say anything about it.
Yeah, then you can throw it in the ocean. It's fine.
Seems kind of wasteful.
Or put it in your bag.
Yeah, I'll drape them on the ship. That's
Yeah,
what
take them out for special occasions.
I'll decorate the ship.
Perfect. Were you successful in your journey to rescue your friend?
Yes.
I guess that means my cousin didn't make it.
No.
Good.
Wait, what?
I'm sorry that you had to go through that.
It's kind of been a lot. Does it? You've been around for a while, right?
250 years or so.
Has it ever felt to you like it's all going too fast?
No. But I think that's part of the benefit of having a shorter life. You have so much more to protect. And it all can seem so important. When you've seen as much time go by as I have, and I'm still in my youth, we lose perspective.
Because I just like, it's only been a couple months. I was just asleep in a canoe, it feels like yesterday. And suddenly I'm the Krakoa.
Oh. You're the Krakoa?
Yeah.
That's great.
I'll make an insight check.
Yeah, sure.
Flying delivery.
That was on par with Ronnie's. Yes. Whatever.
That's a 20, Josh.
You rolled a 24.
Okay. He seems genuine.
He seems genuine. Or you don't pick up on the like shock. It's a very important role, and an honor.
Yeah, I feel that. It's just, I really don't want to let people down.
Well, how about this? I know you have other commitments elsewhere and friends to support and keep safe. I have been the protector of this island through many generations of Kakoas. Let me take the reins for you for a little while you're gone.
Are you sure?
It won't change my life. It'll just keep doing what I've been doing. But you have made promises and commitments.
Okay. Can I give you something? Like, I'm sure I'm gonna come back, but in case I don't, can you do something for me?
Sure.
I want you to have one of these beans.
A bean?
Yeah.
Is this food?
No, definitely. Okay, I've never tried to do one, but you probably shouldn't.
The moment you hand it to him, do not eat these, Kaimana, ever. He feels the magical energy from them. It would be potentially, it would kill you.
Oh, okay. Kaimana thinks back to all the times he thought about eating the beans. Yeah, if I don't come back, could you find someone who's a lot like me on the island and give this to them?
That's a tall order to ask me to find someone like you.
Well, you'll have time.
Well, it might take a couple generations for someone quite so special to come back.
Thank you. And I do just want to say that it's I hope I make you proud.
You already have. So you can only go up from here.
Kaimana smiles and gives him a hug before he walks off.
Right. And as you walk, you make a way down the beach and then hear the flaps of wings as a young blue dragon takes off into the sky and circles the island. All right. You make your way back to... Did you set up the magnificent mansion, Abel?
Yeah, set up.
Okay, so everybody, if you would like to, can sleep in the mansion, or you can sleep out among the stars. It's completely up to you.
Kaimana's going to decorate the ship with all the
Actually,
so you'll have to wait because the ship is.
Oh yeah, that's right.
In traction to Nuevia.
Magnificent mansion.
Yeah. DM really quick.
Yeah.
I did think of something that Ava wants to do. Can I find a quiet place alone from everyone else?
In the mansion?
Wherever,
yeah. You have your own room in the mansion. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because I don't know if this will work in the demi plane or not, but I'm going to reach out to Yakuzi through our little communication system through our homunculi, using his sunbird, his little hummingbird. And I'm going to tell him, your master is dead. I thought you should know. We were able to stop a madman, an evil dragon, from becoming a god, and we did not have to align ourselves with one of the greatest evils of our time to save Nuevia.
He was never my master, Abel. Just a thought partner. Good to know.
He is dead now.
Well, then you have found the strength that you need to protect the world.
That is my hope. But I still am concerned. Because now, with his death, we have to find a way to defeat a god. A god that is more mad than the dragon was.
And without a god to do the fighting for you. But if anybody can figure it out, I think it may be you.
maybe me.
But I am here if you need a listening ear, of course.
Exactly why I contacted you. You are the one who has taught me most of what I know. And I have gleaned some information from Ahriman's writings. But I don't want to risk losing any of my friends or family in the process of trying to kill a god.
Well, Abel, perhaps you could just ask him yourself. And that's where we'll pick up next week.
Abel telling him we're killing the god.
In my screen, Josh is center, and then Jace and Ace on either side. So when Ronnie was delivering the smackdown, both of them were like, "Oh yeah!"
So good, so righteous. I fucking hate that guy. Get his ass, Abel.
Yeah.
Abel does do some great verbal smackdowns.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go get ice.
That was the best. So good. Such a great moment.
All right, yeah, I need to go help Annette with an audition. So
Absolutely.
I will see y'all later.
Bye,
We'll
guys.
pick up next time.
Bye, everyone.